still here.
Hey, Joy Chasers, welcome to another late night episode. It's late, the house is still, and it's quiet. And tonight, I'm drinking some water. All it is water tonight, y'all, in my fancy cup, because as we are Joy Chasers, it doesn't take a special moment to drink out of a fancy cup. So here is my fancy cup tonight, and cheers to all the Joy Chasers that's out here listening and being a part of this late night thoughts episode, because I want to invite you, wherever you are, to take a deep breath and put down whatever you're holding at this moment. If you're watching this in your bed, because it is a late night for you too, get comfortable. And if you're late working on a hobby like me, just let your shoulders drop and get into it, and woosah as we get into what we're going to be talking about tonight. It is not a rush night, y'all. We have nowhere else to be. And if you have a fancy cup that you want to drink, sip and listen as well, and take in all of this Joy Chaser vibe that I got going on and pushing out to you, go ahead and get ready to do that with me tonight.
Late night thoughts, late night thoughts. I'm not lost, I'm just here. Late night thoughts, late night thoughts. Choosing joy, choosing clear eyes. Slow it down, I let it land. I hold my life in open hands. Late night thoughts, and I'm still.
Okay. So, as you already know, I've been doing some people watching. And with the people watching that I have been doing, I don't know, just lately, y'all, I have been just watching, how people are moving, how they're moving online, how they're moving in a line at a store, how they're moving in real life. And the thought really for me started to, as I kind of looked at how people are really moving, it started to really weigh on me a little bit, because I realized that we are living in a time where we are completely drowning in information. It's too much information that we have in here. But we're starving for connection. When people say that loneliness is becoming an epidemic, it's true. If you've heard that on the news, which I have, if you have researched it yourself, which I have, which I have, if you have looked at my vlog on my channel and I talked about loneliness is an epidemic, please watch it. I have done the research. I have looked at things. I have seen that we are starving for connection and we're drowning in information. So just kind of think about this. Before we brush our teeth in the morning, we open up our screen and we let the entire world just kind of really take over our lives. Before some people, alarm goes off, they are waking up to their phone, trying to see what has been going on overnight, I guess. But it's just like, we're wanting to know what's going on all over the world. And by noon, we are actually looking at our phones, trying to figure out what a stranger is doing across the country, what a stranger is doing all the way in the Philippines, what a stranger is doing all the way in South Africa. We know so much about people's lives, not just in the world itself, right here in the United States. We can know about an accident that happened over in Washington State, and we stay here in the South. Well, at least I stay in the South. So therefore, why do we have to know this information? Why are we engaged in this type of information? We know every headline, we know every trend, we know every piece of noise that is out there. So tonight, what I want to do is I want to dive a little bit deeper into what is actually I guess, what it's actually doing to our souls, y'all, and why missing out might be the greatest luxury that we can give ourselves this summer. So as you go into the summer, give yourself that, the joy of missing out. I call it JOMO, the joy of missing out. So what I want you to think about is just think about that your phone. I don't even have mine near me. It's somewhere. I've thrown it somewhere because I don't have it near me, especially when I'm doing things like this, when I'm doing my hobby. Because if I pay close attention to it, then I'm gonna get the scrolling myself, and I just feel like it's too much. It's too much. We've been programmed to believe that staying up to date is a virtue, and it's not. We call that fear of missing out, and it's that really that little itch in your hand that makes you pick up the phone wherever there's a quiet moment. Like now, we can't even be quiet in the house without saying, "Ooh, it's too quiet. Let me pick up this phone and start scrolling." That is where we are when it comes to how much information we have, because we believe in the FOMO trend, the fear of missing out trend. And as long as we believe in that, and as long as we continue to search and scroll and scroll, we are always going to be that way. And when we could completely eliminate the pause from our life. And we need to have a pause. We need to have that. I would really want you to sit with that tonight. When was the last time that you sat on your couch and looked out of the window without looking for some type of notification first? Okay? When was the last time you let your brain just wander without a screen, without the television screen on, without that phone screen right there next to you? When was the last time you just said, let me just think and wonder and imagine? Those are kind of things that I truly miss from my childhood. And I know we're not talking about childhood, but I really miss that. Especially when I was really into that trend of fear of missing out. I was constantly scrolling. I told you all on my vlogs, I'm like, late at night, I'm scrolling on TikTok, laughing, looking at stuff. And then I was like, oh gosh, everything that is on here is negative. And I'm not gonna say everything, but the majority of the things is either someone's talking about they looked at your picture and how ugly it was, or how that doesn't even make sense of what you're wearing. People are judging you based on your clothes. People are judging you based on how you talk. You may have a southern slang, and I know sometimes the words that I have, it has a slang, twang, whatever to it when I talk, because I'm from the South. But that is okay. And I don't think that everybody needs to be in the business like that, but they are. And we as people look in the comments too and laugh and look and scroll and be like, oh, look at all this. So 2 weeks ago, I said, enough is enough. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not going to have these apps on my phone any further, because it is making me have brain fog. It makes me like, oh my gosh, this is going on over there, in Hawaii. Like, why do I care? I need to be caring about what's going on in my own city, in my own backyard, not what's going on over in Hawaii, not what's going on over in California. None of those things matter, especially if you're talking about, oh, there was a car accident, or that don't have anything to do with me. I live here in the South. I need to be worried about the car accidents that's here. And sometimes I don't even need to be worried about that. I need to be worried about what's going on in this house. And I'm just, I'm really, truly, just talking when I say that. But I really want you, the things that I said, to really sit with you, and really, when I ask you those questions, I really want that to sit with you. Like, when was the last time you had the opportunity to do that? When I took off TikTok and Instagram. Do I have an Instagram account and a TikTok? Yes. I have not deleted it because it's associated with my vlog, even though I haven't been on there in 2 weeks. And it's not even doing anything. It's not growing as much as YouTube. So I was like, it's not going to bother me to turn that all the way off. And I got rid of it on my phone. And ask me, have I tried to look for it? I have not. I have not. I have not tried to look for it at all because it's no interest to me at all. I have no interest in what is going on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and the rest of the mess that's out there in the world, because they just want to keep us on because that is the way that they make money. They don't care about your health or whatever else is going on with you. So I had to get real with myself about this. And I remember, when I was getting real with myself and turning off everything, because I was bringing everybody's mess and everybody else's negative energy into my midnight hours. I'm a night owl. I'm a joy chaser that is up at night, and I was bringing all of that negativity into my house while I sit there and laugh and like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that's going on. And, whatever was going on in the world at the time. And then me and my husband would sit down and discuss it the next day, especially if it was something negative or we thought that it was something that I thought that was going to actually be some importance to us in the world. I'm not saying to distance yourself. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying distance yourself from social media, because distancing yourself from anything too much is still too much. You don't want to do that, but you do want to decide what you want in your space. So I had to ask myself, Joy, who has access to your mind right now? And that's when I started practicing the art of intentional disconnect. And let me tell you, at first, it felt a little uncomfortable because I was like, ooh, I don't have this phone in my hand. Okay? But it has become a habit. And not that I didn't have anything phone in my hand, because I grew up that way. We didn't have all of this stuff. So that's why it was easier for me to just put it down. But for the younger people, oh my gosh, it's not easy for them to just put it down. I was watching one of my favorite content creators, and it was really a sad situation as I heard her talk. And I'm going to just let you listen to this video that I'm going to show on the screen, as far as to what my reaction was when I heard her say what she said.
This morning when I was up, I was actually listening to one of my young content creators, and she was on her vlog today, which is usually very, very cozy, very much into how to live a cozy, happy life, kind of like me. And she wasn't too happy this morning. When I saw her video, it was about her saying that she is, exhausted. And when I heard that this morning, I was like, oh my, what do you mean exhausted? And she really focused on her needing to take a break, her needing to take a break from social media and all of the things that go along with that. She's a content creator. This is her job. and she really can't take a break, because if she takes a break, it will affect her, I guess, her money, because she does not have the opportunity to have PTO like a normal person in the corporate world. And that made me really sad this morning. And the reason that it made me sad this morning is because I felt like we are on, as I did a vlog about it, we are on autopilot, and it is really, really affecting our health. And it is affecting our health to the point that we don't know how to take a break, especially the young people, because they don't understand that you cannot be like a robot. And even though the algorithm, and even though society says to go, 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 be productive all the time, your brain needs a break, your body needs a break, and it's okay to take a break. But because the algorithm and social media says that if you take a break, you're going to be punished by either taking your money or taking your audience away, then that is when you don't take that break and have actually a mental breakdown. And I can see why now people are actually having mental breakdowns and just cannot handle things mentally anymore. She was complaining about brain fog. She was saying she had to put her phone in a brick. I have never heard of such things in my life, as far as putting your phone away so you won't touch it. That's called willpower. That's called choice. And the young people don't understand willpower and choice. And I'm not saying all of them. I'm saying some of them don't understand this, because if they're talking about it online, they're screaming out to us to say, help me. And I did look in her comments, and actually her audience gave her permission to take a break. But it doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter what her audience thinks. It matters what the algorithm is thinking. Because the algorithm is saying, no, you cannot take a break. Because if you take a break, you are going to be punished. And because AI is being pushed so much now, that means that when she takes that break, first one, she's not going to have any money because she doesn't have paid time off. She has to work every single day, 365 days of the year, never taking a break. We can't handle that. We cannot handle that. So you have to really, at that point, figure out whether or not you are going to say, I don't give a damn, I'm going to take a break. Or you're going to say, I'm going to keep doing this until I mentally cannot handle it anymore. And when you can mentally cannot handle it anymore, all the good things that you've done, all the good videos that you put out, nobody cares. Nobody is going to care. They're just going to say, oh, I'm move on to the next person because she's not there anymore. So somebody has to care, and it has to be you. So I just came on just to say that my vlog is always about chasing after joy, lived experiences, and living basically offline. You don't have to do some of the things that we do. Does not mean that we have to scroll on TikTok and Instagram and whatever social media you're on. It means that you need to have lived experiences that are going to take care of you mentally. And that's what I'm all about. I know that I used to scroll on TikTok a lot. And then I was like, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. It's a whole bunch of negative junk on there that is taking too much of my brain power, and it's taking too much of me mentally and physically and in my soul. So I decided that I turn all that off. No more TikTok, no more social media, no more social media like Instagram, YouTube. I keep, because YouTube is what I do as my hobby when I present you all with content. But definitely I felt so sad for her, because she just don't know how. She does not know how to figure out this stuff, figure out what to do. She's scared, and she needs permission, and that permission has to come from her, not from other people. It has to come from her, and then she take whatever it is. And I also say develop a skill other than being online, because being online is not going to get you when you're ready to take a break, and maybe you're not making any more money with that. Maybe the algorithm or the AI just say, oh, I'm not going to push your video anymore. You need a skill outside of online stuff, y'all. You do. Because if you do not have that, then guess what? You're going to be in the predicament that this young lady is in right now, and not really being able to move forward or know what else to do, or too scared to do anything. And then it's going to push her to the limit. But anyway, I just want to come on just to kind of talk about that today, because it's important. It's important to love who you are, letting no one take your joy away. And that includes your job. That includes if you're a content creator, don't let that plan. If you want to take a break and deal with the consequences later. And if those people still want to listen to you, they'll listen to you. And if not, then new people will come, because that's how the algorithm is saying anyway. They say, I'll push your stuff as long as you pushing it out every day or every week or whatever fits your boat. But know that there are consequences that come along with that. And the consequences are, you may not, when you take your break, you may lose half of your following. When you take your break, you may not have a channel when you come back. When you take your break, you're not getting paid for taking that break. So those are consequences that come along with that, and you have to plan for those things. All right, y'all, I just wanted to give my 2 cents this morning.
So when you heard that, wasn't it kind of sad? Wasn't it kind of sad to listen to the young people having brain fog and having to lock their phone in a brick? That's just crazy to me, that the younger people are having to use, and they're actually buying things to put it, it's called a brick, put things in, and it was sad, yet something that a lot of people are suffering with. So for me, I had to treat my peace like a boundary that nobody else was allowed to access. I had to learn that protecting my joy meant letting certain doors close, and that is Instagram and TikTok. If I'm pouring into a screen for hours at night, I'm then abandoning myself. I am choosing to watch other people's lives instead of fulfilling my own life in the present. And that is more of the problem. And definitely that's not what we want. So let's talk about this beautiful concept that I want us to lean into for the month of June. It's called JOMO, the joy of missing out. JOMO isn't about isolating yourself or being like you can't be around anybody. It is the absolute luxury of choosing not to know. It is the quiet confidence that says whatever's happening out there on the internet is fine, but what is happening right here in my living room is sacred. There is so much joy in missing out, y'all. It is. I have been experiencing that for the last 2 weeks. Even with YouTube sometimes, because on your YouTube home feed, they have the news. I make sure everything that I have, my algorithm is giving me all cozy and all music and all things about joy and peace and love. Think about the piece of putting your phone face down on the counter or on your table at 8 o'clock and leaving it there. Like I just said, my phone is thrown over somewhere. I don't even know where it is, but it's thrown over somewhere, and I'm not really even caring where it is. The joy of not knowing what the latest internet outrage is, and there's plenty of outrage on the internet, is the joy of letting your evening belong entirely to you. When you embrace JOMO, the joy of missing out, you realize that you aren't missing out on anything that matters. I finally found that out. By the time I did get back to the news, it was the same old ish that I missed 2 weeks ago, that I was all into 2 weeks ago. When I got back in it, they were still talking about the same mess. Getting my brain, having me to have brain fog, and I don't want it. Or having me to look and be upset about something that I don't even need to be upset about. We just know entirely too much. When you embrace JOMO, you realize that you are showing up for the life that has been in front of you the entire time. This June, as the days get longer and the world tells us to be busy, don't listen to it, y'all. I want you to choose the luxury of just, being quiet. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. The luxury of just being quiet. JOMO. So as we start to really wrap up our conversation tonight, I know a lot of you watch me on television late at night or on the weekend. You're sitting on your couch, the room is dark possibly while you're watching right now, and you're just letting my quiet corner mix with yours. And when you look at content like this and content that brings you joy, that's a good thing. So in a world that is constantly screaming for your attention, the fact that you choose to spend 30 to 40 minutes with me, yay, thank you. That's a beautiful connection. Because over here, we are definitely chasing after joy. Look at this beautiful thing that I'm doing, y'all. Look at that. I'm just sitting here talking to you and just scratching, etching it away, all the black here, and it's going to make a beautiful, beautiful picture. But anyway, my challenge for you tonight isn't an online task or something that I want you to do. It's a real world decision as you continue to watch. When this video ends tonight and your television goes black, I want you to resist the urge to turn on another show or pick up your phone and start scrolling. I want you to enjoy the world of missing out, JOMO, the joy of missing out. Okay, I want you to sit in a quiet place that you have built for yourself in your home and just breathe, y'all. Let the room stay dark or very low lighting. Let your mind sit still for just 5 minutes. I want you to practice the luxury of not knowing. I want you to feel the weight of your own body sometimes, because sometimes you're just like, goodness, I gotta breathe, okay? I want you to listen to your lungs, and I want you to realize that you're completely in that mode of chasing after joy. Joy is not a destination, it's an action, y'all. And sometimes the most powerful action you can take to chase after joy is to do absolutely nothing at all to protect the edges of your mind from the noise, because there's so much noise out there. It is. And I just don't want to be a part of it. I don't. That's why you see most times with my vlogs, I am doing something in my own little space at home. If I do go out, it's out where everybody else is out. They're not on their phones and scrolling. They're actually enjoying whatever they are doing out. That's what I enjoy about everything that we do when it comes to chasing after joy. So I want to thank you so much for just kind of coming in, listening to my late night thought all about the fear of missing out versus the joy of missing out. Because it's important, y'all. When you're chasing joy, you don't have time for the negativity. You don't have time for all of the noise that's out there. You have time to push that out, love who you are, let no one take that away, and treat yourself with an abundance of grace. So I want to say to each and every one of the joy chasers that are watching today, have a beautiful, peaceful night. And don't forget to love who you are and let no one take your joy away. See you next time. Bye.
Dim light on the table,
This is going
tea gone,
beautiful when
lukewarm
it's done.
stove. I count my own footsteps just to let my mind go.
All right, that is
I used to
it.
raise the mirror, now I let it speak. There's a truth in the quiet that's been waiting for me. need a big sign, I just need a clear lane. One deep breath, one honest name, and I come back again. Late night thoughts, I'm not lost, I'm just here. Late night thoughts, choosing joy, choosing clear. I slow it down, I let it land, I hold my life in open hands. Late night thoughts, and I'm still here.